Today we're once again on the lake with David Mullins, our resident bass professional. And David, you got something that I've never even heard of until today. I've heard of soft jerk baits.
Soft jerk baits.
But this is a new one called the Lagging Dragon.
The Lagging Dragon. This is by Doomsday Tackle. It's called the Lagging Dragon. And it's got a lot different action than a lot of the soft jerk baits. The way the tail is made, it really narrows down right here in the tail, and it kind of kicks back out toward the end, and it makes that real erratic. And when fish start feeding in the fall and shad, and a lot of times they kind of, you know, you'll have some swipe at a spook and miss it. This is a great bait to follow up with, or just primary bait to throw in, you know, all fall long. But places I throw it's in, same thing I throw a Zara spook on, or topwater baits on flats, off of brush piles. You know, up here you don't have a lot of choice. You got a lot of rock, so you know, I throw it on rock and what flats I can find. But the Lagging Dragon is an awesome way to catch them in the fall. The hook I use is probably the biggest thing about the bait. You need an extra wide gap hook. And what that is, if you see that hook, it comes back and then comes back straight. That allows that bait to sit. It's got a little slot for that hook, so it gets weedless. So if you're trying to throw it around brush, it doesn't get hung up.
And you said in the rivers, especially with all the grass and everything, this is a great way to go because you can get it through that grass.
Absolutely crushed them on the river. Then the Holston River right here in the middle of Kingsport, absolutely crushed them on this bait right here. Really? And the biggest reason is what you just said. It's got, there's a lot of grass in the river right now. The river's kind of stayed the same, not pushing a lot of water through it, so the grass is growing up. So there's not a whole lot of baits you can actually get through that grass that's weedless, but I'm telling you right now, this is an awesome way to catch them in the river. Like I said, we crushed them on it.
And you were showing me when you were working it back to the boat just a moment ago, you can either short jerk it or long jerk it. It's just it just goes all around.
Yeah, it's got such erratic action. It looks just like a shad in the water. If you long stroke it, it's got real long glides, you know, to it. Short stroking, it just darts. It's a real erratic, so it can trigger fish to bite. The setup I use 16-pound fluorocarbon sunline. The fluorocarbon helps the bait sink a little bit, so it doesn't stay on top, so it kind of looks more natural, and kind of a heavy action rod because that's a pretty good size hook.
And I started to say with that extra big hook on there too, you're going to get some more weight from the hook too to get it down there.
Exactly right. But it's just an awesome way. It imitates the shad perfectly. It's a great way to get bites, but especially get bites in the river.
All right. Whether you're on the lake or on the river, a good way to go, the Lagging Dragon here on Daytime Tri-Cities. David Mullins, thanks a lot.
Absolutely.
We'll be back coming weeks with some more patterns for the fall.